Have you been wondering, why do people move abroad? I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun, right? Adventure, new friends, exciting times. It's like a never-ending vacation in some incredible spot halfway around the world. You've probably seen it on YouTube, definitely on our channel. People traveling, meeting locals, eating amazing food, and living what seems like the dream life. But then reality kicks in. You start thinking, who are these people who just jet off to live in Europe or Asia? They must be loaded. How do they actually make this happen? Like really, how do you get a visa? Find a new home? Figure out which country to even start with, let alone narrow it down to a town, a rental, or a property to buy. And what about the cost of living? Healthcare? Who qualifies? And the questions you see keep coming. What do I do with all my stuff? Do I sell it? Ship it? Store it? Oh my God, what about the dog? Listen, we get it. It's overwhelming. But don't worry, we've got you covered. Welcome to our channel, where we break down everything you need to know about moving abroad. We've created the Ultimate Moving Abroad program to take you through the entire process step by step, from deciding where to go, to packing up your life, to settling in your new home abroad. Because, let's be honest, when you're starting this process, you don't even know what you don't know. Before we dive in, can we ask a quick favor? Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and tap the little bell icon so you don't miss any of our future content. Drop a comment below and let us know. Where are you dreaming to move to? Or what's your biggest question about making the move? We'd love to hear from you. Okay, let's jump in. Why move abroad? Let's start with the big question. Why do people move abroad? For some, it's about new horizons, adventure, and exploring a fresh culture. For others, it's about reinventing themselves, retiring early, or just creating a better quality of life at a lower cost. There are economic benefits, like saving money on healthcare or housing, and social benefits, like slowing down, building a stronger sense of community, or spending more time doing what you love. Whatever your reason, one thing is clear. Life is short. We should have done this sooner. The world is big, so why not grab it? The overwhelming thoughts of moving abroad. Of course, dreaming about moving abroad is one thing. Actually doing it is another. Where do you even start? That's why we created the Ultimate Moving Abroad program. Today, we'll introduce you to some of our trusted experts and share real, actionable advice. We'll meet Claudia Ribeiro. Her company specializes in renting and buying real estate in Europe. She'll give you tips on finding a home and even touch on how mortgages work for expats. Then, we'll chat with Sandra who will walk you through the visa options and explain how her team can take care of the immigration process for you. Because trust me, you're going to have plenty of other things to handle.
So my name is Claudia Ribeiro. Me and my team specialize with working with foreign clients, and we've been doing so for the last 5 or 6 years, especially with American clients. And we have been helping people transition from their life in the United States to Portugal specifically, although we can connect them to teams throughout Europe. In this aspect of helping Americans transition, what does that mean? Usually our clients are in the States, they're not physically here in Portugal, and we help them understand what they want, what they need in a rental for the first year that they will need for their D7 process. And we'll go to these different links. We first start with them sending us links so that we understand what they need and what they expect. And then because we don't have an MLS system, and I'll touch base on that when we talk about purchasing, we will go to a few rentals and we'll do videos. We could either do a video call if we're in the same time frame, sometimes we're not. Otherwise, we'll do just a regular video and send our clients so that they can decide which one they like most, okay? Then we take care of doing a bilingual contract, which is needed for them to take to their appointment. And we make sure it always is registered in the finance department because it's mandatory, and to make sure it's a secure contract so that they don't compromise their interview with the AIMA in the future. And then clients arrive, we help them set up utility bills. So water, electricity, they're never on by themselves. We help transition so that it makes it easy. Then clients, once they're settled in, we maintain contact, obviously, and then we help them with purchasing. Okay. We have been specializing in the buyer's agent, which is something that's not truly common here in Portugal, but we've learned that our American clients needed this persona. We avoid that dual agency situation because it's something that's very common here in Portugal, but it's something that we've learned working with our foreign clients that doesn't work best in their interests. So we maintain as buyer's agents. It's what we specialize in, essentially. Not that we cannot help you sell your property in the future. We can, and we do, but we'll always work only on one side of the deal, either as your sellers or your buyer's agent, just so that you always feel that you are protected. That is our intention, and that is what our company really wants to do. Like I was saying, we don't have an MLS system here, so we're confined to websites like Idealista. So we have several meetings with our clients to understand what they're looking for in a property. So they have their own checklist. And then obviously in the future, they will decide what they need to compromise on, because filling out the full checklist is difficult. So we don't have an MLS system, and we do work very hard to make sure that we have and we can meet our clients' needs. So usually clients can even send us some links, or if they're driving around the island or they're driving in Portugal, they'll send us a snapshot of where they are so that we can try and help find that property that ticked some boxes off for them. Unfortunately, because we don't have an MLS system, what happens is a lot of things are left there, and we have to deal with the frustration that sometimes they're just left there to generate leads. And so once we get contacting the agencies that have the listings, we'll find out that they're no longer available or that they're under contract. And it's something common. And it can be quite frustrating in the beginning, but then clients understand, and we try to position ourselves so that things go as smooth as possible. But it happens a lot. Obviously, we will accompany you through the whole process between viewings until the day of the title deed, or the deed itself. We have a legal team. We have several partners if you need renovations. If you need all you can think of, we have partners that will deal with one thing or the other.
By the way, the full interviews with Claudia and Sandra are available in the podcast section of our YouTube, so be sure to check them out after this video. Now, as you think about your journey, it's important to remember that things like getting a mortgage work very differently in other countries. Here's an example from Claudia about mortgages in Portugal.
Down payments for foreign buyers is around 20%. There are some banks that demand 30%, but the majority of the down payment is 20%.
Is the down payment 20% for my primary property, and then would it be more for a secondary property or a vacation home?
No, it's the same.
Okay.
It's 20%. And the only difference here is that we have an age limit. So mortgages can only be conceded up to the age of 75. That means if you're 70, you can only get a 5-year mortgage. And if you're a couple, it will always be the age of the oldest that will
determine what the length of that is. So since Alan is 9 years older than I am, it's based off of his age for how long our mortgage could be.
Exactly.
So if you're older, you're not coming and getting a 30-year mortgage.
No.
Okay. You're getting 5. Just depends on how old you are, right?
Even if you're 40, the maximum you're going to get is about 35 years, even if you're 40 years old. So if you're
here's the funny part. They're going to think that sounds funny because we always just do 30. We do go over that.
Okay.
So young people here, because homes are expensive and wages are very low, tell us about the actual taxes.
Okay, so if you are a cash buyer, on the day of closing, you're going to have to pay the deed itself, so the title deed, and that will be the fee that will include the registry of the property, and it depends on where you do it. Okay, you can do it at notary office or the lawyer, and it can go anywhere between 500 euros if it's at the public notary to 1,600. Depends on also the price, because some notaries will fix prices differently depending on the purchase price. Okay. But then you have what we call the EMT, which is the transmission tax, and that also will vary depending on the price of the property, and the stamp tax. Obviously, this is for cash buyers, because if you go through a mortgage, you're going to have a few more things to pay. You're going to have to pay the stamp tax on the amount that you requested the mortgage on. So if it's 100,000, you're going to pay 0.6, so it's about 600 euros. Stamp tax on the mortgage rate. You're going to have to pay the evaluation of the process, the opening of the process. So there's a few more expenses associated.
Step 1, getting started. First things first, understand your finances. Research the cost of living in the countries you're interested in and start building a realistic budget. We've included spending calculators in our program to make this part easier. You'll also need to prep your documents, like passports. Look into international phone plans and maybe start learning a new language. Language apps or more structured courses can be a game changer when adjusting to your new country. Step 2, discovering your destination. Not sure where to move? That's okay. This is the fun part. Researching countries, weighing pros and cons, and deciding what's important to you. Can you get a visa there? What's the cost of living? Can you buy property? This is where our worksheets and comparison tools really come in handy. Step 3, preparing for the move. Next, it's time to tackle logistics. What do you do with your stuff, your belongings? You keep, sell, ship, store them? How do you handle taxes, mail, and other details? Oh, and don't forget about health certificates and traveling plans for your pets, if they're coming along for the adventure too. Step 4, understanding visas. This is a big one. You need to understand what visas are, how they work, and which one is right for you. Sandra Fernandez is here to break it down, whether you're pursuing a retirement visa, a digital nomad visa, or another options. She is talking about Portugal. However, most countries have similar options available, and her team will help you connect with immigration experts in the country you are looking at.
The programs that most people use when they come are still the D7s and the D8.
When we say D7, D8, or the D2, we're talking about forms. But basically is the income stream that we are classifying. All of them require exactly the same thing. Having enough income, basically is having enough income to live in Portugal and having a long-term residency and proving that I have where to live. Now, when we're talking about the D7, we are talking about those who can prove that they have enough passive income to live in Portugal. What the law states in terms of the minimum is the minimum salary. We don't have legally any other requirement, but of course, because there's a lot of applications and there's absolute discretionary power on the institutions to approve or not, we always recommend at least to have the double, more or less, of the minimum salary to make it in a way that is, to become eligible. We need to have a tax number, we need to have a bank account, and we need to prove that the main applicant has at least 1 year of the minimum salary already deposited in the Portuguese bank account. If they are applying, the main applicant is applying with family members, then we also need to prove there is at least 50% of this amount for the spouse and 30% for each child. Now, in terms of D8, we need to prove that there is more income on a monthly basis, or the average of the monthly income has to be 3,280 euros per month nowadays. And in order to apply, it's important to prove that at least 3 months were already paid. To have, there is what we call a long-term agreement, either working or retainer, for at least 1 year with an entity. So another possibility would be to become an entrepreneur. It's basically ridiculous, the entrepreneur visa. The entrepreneur doesn't require there's no minimum investment for the entrepreneur. There has to be some kind of business plan. And especially, and the most important to get it approved from our experience, is to have a company incorporated in Portugal. So having a company incorporated in Portugal, having a small business plan, and again, there is a residency in Portugal, there is a bank account open, On a personal level, of course, for the company, it's also needed. It's mandatory to open a bank account for the company. That person will be eligible for the D2. So it's a solution for those willing to move but don't have enough passive income, but they do have money. They're going to do that before. And we can, we can assist on everything.
Sandra's team specializes in helping expats like you navigate this process. Her contact information is in the description below. Step 5, last-minute preparation. As departure day gets closer, it's all about double-checking your documents, tickets, health records, tax forms, and making sure everything is in order. You'll want to prepare a checklist of all the little things, like your pet travel paperwork or your final goodbyes with family and friends. Our program's detailed departure checklist ensures that nothing gets left behind. Step 6, planning scouting trips or slow travel. Not ready to commit 100% just yet? No problem. Planning a scouting trip or even a year of slow travel can help you test the waters. This includes booking flights, choosing lodgings, staying safe, and packing light. We've got tips for the first-time travelers and seasoned adventurers alike to make this stage fun and stress-free. Step 7, settling into your new home. You finally arrived. Now what? This is where the fun begins and the adjustment begins. From setting up local bank accounts, if you didn't need to do that for your visa, unlike we did, to figuring out healthcare and learning about the culture. This is all about building your new life. Our program helps you transition smoothly so you feel confident and not overwhelmed. Step 8, understanding healthcare. Healthcare is one of the biggest concerns for expats. Does your destination offer universal healthcare? Should you go to private? We recommend that you explore this and purchase your private healthcare before you leave your home country. But inside our program, we'll break down what you can expect, what to budget, and for how to choose the best options for your needs. Healthcare doesn't have to be scary when you know what to expect. Step 9, food for thought. As you move forward, you might start thinking about the bigger picture, like financial independence, FI, or retiring early, FIRE. Should you rent or buy property? How do you build a cost-effective lifestyle while still enjoying life? Exploring these questions are empowering and help you plan not just your move, but your future. Wrapping it up. So there you have it. 9 steps to making your dream of moving abroad a reality. Our Ultimate Moving Abroad program covers all of this and more with tools, tips, and expert advice to guide you every step of the way. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon so you'll never miss our updates. Your support helps our channel to grow and reach more people just like you. Drop us a comment. Tell us your biggest question about moving abroad or where you'd love to live. And don't forget to check out our full interviews with Claudia and Sandra on our YouTube channel. It'll be fun. Life is short and the world is big. Let us help you grab it. Visit us at www.it'llbefunretirement.com to learn more about our program and stay tuned for more videos with tips, expert interviews, and stories from expats just like you. Until next time, happy planning, and remember, it'll be fun. Mostly.